Good morning. This week we're talking about UTIs. What is that? A urinary tract infection. Have you or anybody you've known ever had a UTI? Well, a urinary tract infection, let me bring this close to you, is an infection that affects the bladder wall, causing inflammation. Nitrites might be there, and also leukocytes, white blood cells. If there's bacteria, there's going to be nitrites in the actual urine when you measure it. The bladder is connected to the ureters, which go to the kidneys. So therefore, you have a lower UTI and an upper UTI. The lower UTI will probably happen first, and then it will migrate to the upper in the kidney area. It gets really serious when it comes up to the kidneys. All right, so now let's show you some samples of what urine could look like. I have 3 samples here. This sample is a sample that has bacteria and blood cells in there. This is a clear sample, but it's very yellow, which means you're wasting your money on vitamins because you're peeing them out. And this one is yellow, but it's fairly clear, meaning that you're hydrated properly and no infection is seen. All right, so here we go. Let's continue on with our anatomy. All right, let's look at the anatomy of the bladder. Here you are. You have your bladder down here, your ureters, and your kidneys. This is an enlarged picture of the bladder. The walls on the inside of the bladder get inflamed. And remember, the urine's held here until it's released through the urethra and exited outside. When the walls of the bladder are inflamed, you might see things like white blood cells. Those are indicative of leukocytes. Or you might see nitrites. In order to have a bladder infection with my measuring UTI strips, you want to see both and here's my strips. You want to see both the leukocytes and the nitrites. Therefore, that would be a positive result. Remember that if it's just the leukocytes, then it's a white blood cell. So if something is inflamed, the bladder, and we just need to maybe drink more water and decrease inflammation through cranberry juice or etc. We'll go over that in a second. All right, now, what are your symptoms of a UTI? Well, let's start with the bladder. Here you go. So you have increased frequency of urination. You have urgency, which you feel like you have to pee a lot. You have painful urination. And then you have pain right above the pubic bone, so lower abdomen area. White blood cells and bacteria are found in the urine, and it's most commonly found in women, although men also get it. The pyelonephritis, which is the kidney infection, remember that's the upper UTI, affects the kidneys. Here you're going to have flank pain. Where's that? It's in the back. And you will have fever, you'll be tired a lot, you'll find white blood cells and bacteria, and the urinary symptoms close to what it would feel like when you had just the infection in the bladder. Okay? All right, that was your anatomy. What causes this? Wow. Okay, here we go. What causes this? It could be a fungal infection. It could be bacteria. Improper hygiene. So what does that mean? Well, you're working out, you're wearing nylon underclothes, and moisture is kind of closed in, a perfect place for bacteria to grow. All right, how to prevent a urinary tract infection. Here we go. All right, you see this? You want to go to the bathroom early and often, so don't hold your pee. Okay, if you're intimate with your spouse, make sure you void right after that. This way, if there's any bacteria that is hovering around there, will be gotten rid of. All right, so here we go. You don't want to hold your pee, like we said. We want to drink lots of water. You want to take showers, not bubble baths, because then things kind of go up there. And of course, if you're the type of person that takes a lot of feminine hygiene where you do douches and stuff like that, well, you know what? Don't do it because it throws off the flora. And also, pee before and after you're intimate. Okay? So, all right, drink lots of water. All right, so the next one, I just did a lot of pictures because I think it's a little bit more explanatory. How to treat a urinary tract infection. Well, there's different ways. I love drinking organic apple cider vinegar because that changes the pH. Remember last week we talked about the pH and how that affects osteoporosis, right? Now we see that if you're acidic with the pH in your urine, you're also going to get bladder infections. Yikes. Cranberry juice is good because it kind of decreases inflammation in the bladder wall. We have tea tree oil because that is an antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral, and blueberries because that's pre and probiotics. You can also do an Indian gooseberry, and the way you do that is you can boil the gooseberry, simmer it down, and then drink that 2-3 times a day for a few days, like 3 days. All right. So now I want to talk to you about my UTI strips. These are the UTI strips. And basically, if you feel like you're having a UTI strip, UTI. Oh yeah, if you're having a UTI strip, then I'm just saying. Okay, I wanted to say is that if you feel like you're having a UTI, go ahead and grab your UTI strip from here, and basically you want to check and measure your urine to see if you have any leukocytes or if you have any nitrites in the urine. Okay, so this is a perfect little guide, a guide that tells you exactly how to use it and what to do and what to look for. It's so explanatory. Now, this is the big snafu. You got to find both leukocytes and nitrites to have a positive result. If you only have leukocytes, that's the white blood cells, it could be just inflammation, or you can have a false positive. And the false positive could be done through medication or concentration of urine, or maybe you've eaten something that has caused to mask symptoms or give you symptoms or give you results in the pad for that. Okay, so the way it looks like, you take the little strip out and you put it in your urine. Boom. And then you look and see what's going on. Notice that there's this color right here signifies your acidity. There's a range that you can look at, and then there's nitrites and leukocytes. So right here, only the leukocytes are positive, the nitrites are not. So even though the urine looks really icky, you don't really have an infection, I would suggest start pushing water and do some natural remedies because you are acidic. And if you're acidic, you're gonna end up getting a UTI. Now, what do? You drink lots of water, you get good sleep, you rest, try not to stress out, and remember, use the potty often. I want to also next week talk about the kidneys, because with the kidneys, I'm looking for my little paper here. Oh no, I used it as a thing. Okay, so basically with the kidneys, you can get what's called stones. And when people get stones, they originate here. And you know how that happens? Oh yes, did you guess it? pH. If your pH is low, that means you're acidic. Then your body's stealing calcium phosphate from your bones. You get osteoporosis, you get UTIs, and now you form stones. Let's talk about that more extensively next time, because kidney stones are very, very painful. All right, so hey, I will talk to you soon.